hoping change is gonna find me. You don't have to remind me I'm doing nothing at all.
Why do seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be called baygulls. Hi everyone and welcome back to Going Wild again. Today I've had my Nissan Qashqai fixed because I had a little issue with all the rear end subframe. In as much as if I didn't have it fixed, you scrap the car. And the rest of the car is absolutely fantastic, but the rear, I'll call them the rear arms going onto the wheels, and the major brackets that are bolted to the subframe were rotting through. You could hit them with your fingers and they would produce rust. So I got told with the mechanic that there is no way that I could drive that vehicle, or this vehicle should I say. So I thought long and hard, do I want to scrap a perfectly good vehicle with 70,000 miles on that I've had for, you know, since 2015? There's nothing wrong with it, you know, the car's shell is great, there is no other rust on the underside, it's been wax oiled, the engine is good. Do I want to scrap it? Because I think someone would have took scrappage value and then sold this on and done the subframe themselves and sold it back on for 3,000. So I decided I'll have the work done. Okay, let me show you some pictures of the underside of the car and what's been done. Okay, I don't know the technical name for these, but let's call these cross pieces the U-bar struts. They go to the back shock absorbers and towards the back wheel from the middle subframe. And the mounting brackets it bolts onto were fine. It's just the bars that were going rusty. And now we've got these pieces with the holes in. These are, I'll call these the back struts. They go to the back wheels. And they are the major component that was rotting through, which we had to replace, definitely. Everything else seems to be okay. The shocks were okay, the mounting points were fine. Excuse the video, but you know, the springs on the back were fine. And where all these holes are in the middle there, that's where the rust was in the old ones. They rot through. They're, you know, the 3/16 of these mild steel, and that's what happens. They were coated up as well. I think the old ones have been coated up. That's a shot of it connected, obviously, to the wheels. So you get all that kit. You get 4 main pieces, all the bolts and the rubbers and the flanges or whatever, and all this section here that just got to unbolt it and put it on, which for me is not an easy job, but for a mechanic it seemed okay. And what I'll say to people is nobody seems to be observing or watching the underside of the vehicles, and you know, manufacturers only want you to have 10 years out of these vehicles, I think. So I think I've just now, by doing all the rear subframe, I just think I've had another 5 years life to this vehicle. Yeah, there's still going to be tyres, brakes and wheel bearings, maybe even shock absorbers in the future. But as long as I keep on with the wax oil, I think the underside is A1, it's really good. So have a look under your Qashqais, because they're not like a van, they're not galvanised, they're actually mild steel that's coated with a black paint. And if you don't keep on top of them with wax oil, you just throw them away. There are so many Qashqais that I've seen in the scrappers because of these rear arms. There's nothing wrong with the cars. So have a look. If you're using your Qashqai as a camper, don't throw it away. You can buy these arm kits for £300 with all the bolts, all the rubbers. Yeah, let's say £300 for the whole kit. So whilst I was doing that, I've had the back brakes done, the back discs done, all the subframe and the rear end, and we're having wax oiled another day, just to keep it absolutely away from salt and water. And we're good to go. We're all right. It drives really well. You know, it seems really good on the rear end, and I now know it's not going to fail an MOT. Don't be daunted by people saying it's knackered, take it to the scrapyard. These vehicles are not knackered. I changed the oil, I've done the servicing on this vehicle, on the engine and the filters. So easy to do. They're easy to work on. This is a 1.6 petrol, but you know what, it's been absolutely A1 car. It starts every time, it runs everywhere, it's never let me down. I've never had to call the RAC. I've had a battery problem once on it, that I've changed the battery up, and I've had one wheel bearing, 2 track rod ends, various brakes and tyres over the years, which is expected, that's consumables, and replace the bits. You know, there's a lot of these out there in the scrapyards. I'm not asking you to go and buy new subframe scrappers because they scrap. The subframes you need to buy new, but you know, if you buy from Nissan, you'll pay a shitload of money, but if you buy from other places, you'll pick them up for the right money. So I had a mechanic look at this before I had this work done. I had the seals checked, I had all the suspension checked, and all the front end checked. The engine was fine. I've done many oil services on this, and it was in A1 condition. So don't go ahead unless you know everything else is fine. If you've got error codes on it or your engine's knackered, get all that sorted out first. Just, you know, want to clarify that this car's in good order apart from this rear subframe and these arms. So I'm happy with the work that's been carried out now. I've test driven it and it drives really well. No issues whatsoever so far. So I'm hoping for another 5 years out of this car, but I think one of the things that I will have to do in the future when it gets to 100,000 miles is possibly put a new clutch in her. Okay people, thank you for watching and coming back to the channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe and ding the bell. Maybe you'll watch some more of my content. That'll be the most useful bit for my account. So pay us a visit, watch some more footage, and maybe send a few links out. That would be really helpful to me. Thanks again. See you in a bit. Bye.